So let's practice the substitution method of solving systems of linear equations. So practicing substitution, ladies and gentlemen. Had to throw ladies and gentlemen in because it's a tradition. Substitution. So if we have the two equations, let's go with y equals negative 2x minus 9, and the second equation, 6x minus 5y equals negative 19. Since one of these two equations is ready to go, y is already by itself. Remember, with substitution, we just need to get one of the variables by himself. It doesn't always have to be the y. It could be the x or the y. This one has the y. What we do then is we take that value right there, that piece that y is equal to, and we substitute it in for the y in the other equation. If it was x by itself, we'd substitute for the x, but this is y by itself. Substituting that in, we're going to replace that y with the negative 2x minus 9. So I have 6x, that part doesn't change, minus 5, remember the parentheses, because y is no longer one letter or one variable or one number, it is now an expression. So we replace with the negative 2x minus 9 equals negative 19. We're going to distribute, so 6x, distributing negative 5 times negative 2x is a positive 10x, watch your signs, and a negative 5 times a negative 9 is a positive 45. I have a couple of like terms. I'm going to combine the 6x and the 10x into 16x plus 45 equals negative 19. I now want to get that x by itself. I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. That leaves me 16x on the left, and negative 19 minus 45 is negative 64. Dividing by 16 leaves me my x. My x is equal to negative 4. So I have found half of my solution. I now know that if I were to graph these two lines, that they will cross, they will intersect at negative 4 comma something. How do I find the something? I plug that back in. I like the one over there all by itself. So y equals negative 2 instead of x. I now know my x has to have a negative 4 when they cross. Y equals negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8 minus 9 is negative 1. So if I were to graph these, this time they cross at a nice spot. Negative 4 comma negative 1. But that is the substitution method. I found that point, that one point that will make this equation true and make this equation true. Now, I want you to practice one. So, I'm going to have you practice one where the x is by itself. 6y minus 7 and 4x plus y equals negative 3. So I want you now, pause the video. Pause the video. Actually, I'm going to put it down here. Hopefully you've been taking some notes as you've been doing this. But just in case, I'll leave it down for you to look at when you pause this video. Pause the video and solve this system of equations, these two equations. Find the point where the lines cross using the substitution method. So at this point, pause the video and solve. Okay, let's see how you did. So, to solve this system, this one is set up already. The x is by itself, so I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to put it in place of the x in this equation. In place of the x. If you put it in the y instead, you should pause the video again and go do it again, because you did not get the correct answer. When I put this in for the x, this equation becomes 4. Remember the parentheses. X turns into 6y minus 7 plus the y equals negative 3. So we just replace the x with that piece that x is equal to. Now I'm going to distribute 24y minus 28, boom, boom, plus y equals negative 3. Combining like terms, 25y minus 28 equals negative 3. Add 28 to both sides. 25y equals 25. Divide by 25, and you get y equals 1. So again, we just found part of our solution. We know that these two lines cross at the point when the y is 1. The y is 1 this time. How do I find the x? Plug it in. The x will equal 6 times the y is 1 minus 7. 6 minus 7, negative 1. So the x is negative 1. Remember, we can check our answer. When I plug the point negative 1, 1 into this equation, does it work? The x is negative 1 equals 6 times the y is 1. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. It works there. And plugging it into this equation, 4 times the x is negative 1 plus the y is 1. Does that give me negative 3? Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. That is the one and only one point that will make both equations true. Hopefully, you are on your way to solving systems with substitution. One more video to go when they don't quite look like they should.